Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to AS Astrology, and today's topic will be about exaltation and debilitation of planets, to which in Hindi we call as Uch ka grah or Neech ka grah. So, the first thing we need to know about what is the meaning of exaltation and debilitation of planets. Exaltation is a state where a planet is in its full dignity, where the foundation of the planet is strong, where the planet is at its highest state. And in case of debilitation, it's totally opposite, where a planet loses its dignity, is weak, and it is at its lowest state. So what we have been told from a very long time now that exalted planets are, like Amrit for a kundli, and debilitated planets brings hardships and are curse for the horoscope, which is actually not true. This is again a misconception about astrology. See, I will again mention that the rules that were set for astrology a long time ago were about the era which we had earlier, the Satyug we can call. But now it's a Kalyug, right? So the requirements and things that we need to consider are pretty different. People were more of about the truth, about the respect in earlier time, in Satyug. But now people don't care about truth. Okay, that is something else, but more than respect, everyone just wants money, luxury. So debilitation is not at all wrong, because debilitated planets can actually give you tremendous amount of money just in a click, whereas exaltation planets can give you hard time with things, hard time accepting things. For example, you have exalted sun. Such a person finds it's very hard to go beyond the rules, go do something, go after money, or do something nasty just to earn money. Whereas in case of debilitated Jupiter is a manager. Okay, Jupiter is a guru, Jupiter is a manager, Jupiter has optimistic knowledge. So here, when Jupiter is debilitated, what happens is that Jupiter provides its services for exchange of money. A person with debilitated Jupiter, if it's Atmakarka or first lord as Jupiter and it is debilitated, such a person will provide their knowledge and will provide their managing skills just in order to gain money and assets. So what do you think? What is better? What is beneficial? So that we just need to apply the logics around what today's requirement is. For example, in case of Jupiter, it is told that if you have exalted Jupiter, then you will have a very good husband, you will have tremendous amount of money. But to be very honest, I have seen a lot of charts of females having Jupiter in the nakshatra of Pushya, where it is at its exaltation point and degrees, having divorces, more than even 2 marriages, because Jupiter in the nakshatra of Pushya, where it is exalted in the sign of Cancer, is actually very hungry for materialistic pleasure, for money. So we cannot just depend on debilitation and exaltation like we used to do that when there was a you can call Satyug, when there was a time like that. In I remember in the horoscope of Lord Rama, there is exalted Jupiter. Okay, and Jupiter, I think it is in the ascendant, exalted Jupiter with moon, and Mars, exalted Mars in 7th house, and his marriage life was not that good. Like we think that having exalted Jupiter in the ascendant and having 7th aspect on the 7th house will bless the marriage, but he didn't have a very good marriage. He had problems with that. So I'm not saying that totally the exaltation effect is wrong, or that is not good. No, that is not the case. The thing is, we have to check a lot of other things in order to support that exaltation, in order to see that whether the result will be good or bad. Simple as that. Everything comes with conditions, right? Then why not in astrology? Every placement, every situation in astrology must be backed up with other condition so as to have full and accurate results. That's why I would say the misconceptions about astrology are just a trap of wrong knowledge. So do not fall in that. Use this. Now the question arises is that what is the actual concept behind the exaltation and debilitation of planets? So according to my teacher, he always says that a planet will act like the domain it is sitting in. The domain is the house and the zodiac in which it is sitting. He always mentions that a planet will always behave like its nature, like the tattva it is already. If sun is there, sun will behave like a king, no matter in which sign it is. The basic nature will be that, but the variations and how it is going to add the flavor to its personality will depend upon the placement and the sign. He always mentions a phrase which is quite logical, that a planet wears the jacket, and the jacket is the zodiac sign. It's like the planets enters a closet where there are different jackets in the form of zodiac sign, and it wears different jackets and tries it on and behave like the personality it perceives from that outfit. So that is the only thing with the exaltation and debilitation. The planet will behave like the sign it is sitting in. Just by understanding and looking over the conditions that which are required to see that the planet will give good results or bad results, a person can confirm that that planet is useful for a person or not. So the conditions that we need to see are, first, that comes the ascendant. Which ascendant are you? We have generally classified planets into two categories, malefic and benefic. That is the normal nature of a planet to act. Like Jupiter, Moon and Mercury will always act as benefics. Even if they are debilitated, they will always act benefics. But depending upon which ascendant you are, that matters, because then you can see that according to your horoscope, are these benefics functionally benefic or not? Functionally benefic means that if these three benefics or any other planet rules your trinals or kendra. If suppose Saturn is ruling your trinal or kendra, which means you are a Libra ascendant, then your Saturn will rule your 4th house and your 5th house. That means that Saturn is basically a yoga karka and functional benefic for your horoscope. So Saturn will not harm that much, even if it is debilitated in the sign of Aries in the 7th house. It will still give positive results. Then second comes the placement of a planet. The placement refers to in which house it is sitting is. Suppose an exalted Jupiter is sitting in the 8th house, means you are Sagittarius ascendant. And 8th house with no support and maybe not that powerful, maybe Moon is debilitated in the 12th house. Okay, then this placement is not very good and Jupiter may give you some hard time. Then comes the degrees. Degrees of planets are of utmost importance, because a planet that is debilitated, but if the degrees varies, it can even act as an exalted planet. So that's a trick of calculation basically. You cannot just normally what people or astrologers do is that they just see that Jupiter is in Capricorn, Venus is in Virgo, and all other planets in their debilitation signs, but they forget to see about the degrees. Sometimes their degrees lead them to give benefic results. After that comes the dispositor of the planet. Suppose Sun is debilitated. Sun is in the sign of Libra and it is debilitated, and then we need to see that what is the condition of Venus. If Venus is in its Mool Trikon, means Venus is sitting with Sun only in the sign of Libra, or Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces with good degrees, accurate degrees rather I would say, then this becomes a Raj Yoga actually. Then this debilitated Sun will give you positive results. Debilitated Sun means a person does not have fame or does not have self-esteem, to have self-confidence to represent himself in front of people. Low confidence we can say. But with this combination, the person can over the time take the command of their confidence and can be very good at representing. Most of the artists have debilitated Sun, but their Venus is very well placed. That's why they are very good at representing their creativity in front of the public. Then comes another important factor, that is divisional charts. Most of us forget the importance of divisional charts. We always go for the natal chart. I was also planning to make a video upon what is the importance of divisional charts, why you need to look divisional charts along with the natal chart. I will make that video soon, but for a crux I would say that divisional charts are basically the result of the natal chart. Natal chart is just the overview of what you are going to have in your life, but how you are going to transform your life by your karmas is your divisional chart. So a person needs to see that where that debilitated or exalted planet is sitting in D9 and then in D60. And if you want to know about career, how a particular planet is going to behave in your career, then go to the D10 section and see whether that planet is in dignity in D10 or not. Because the planets that are exalted or debilitated in the divisional charts, that is the final say. The natal chart may have, for example, let me give you an example. For example, you have debilitated Venus in your natal chart, but you have exalted Venus in your D9 chart. That means that by your own karma and by your own actions, you will make that Venus, that debilitated or that weak Venus, into a strong Venus. Now if you have debilitated Sun in your natal chart and exalted Sun in your D10 as the Smansha chart, which is for career and how you represent yourself out in society, then this states that you will have low self-esteem and confidence at the very first, but when you are representing yourself out in society, your confidence will boost up. You will represent yourself in society with full confidence and full courage. And one very important example I forgot to mention, that is that mostly people say that when a person has debilitated Venus, your spouse will not be good looking, your spouse will not be loyal, or your spouse will be too practical, not loving, that kind of things. And when Venus is exalted, your partner will be very beautiful, your partner will be like this, that, all the good things. So since everyone is very curious to know about how their partner will be, so I feel that importance to tell you guys that how to judge a debilitated or Venus or exalted Venus. So let me tell you, debilitated Venus can actually give a tremendous good looking wife or spouse even. If your Venus is in the nakshatra of Chitra, your spouse will be stunning looking. I have very real life examples for that. I've seen people, especially males, having Venus debilitated in Navamsha or in D1 natal chart, and they have extremely beautiful wives. And if Venus is in Uttara Falguni Nakshatra, you will have the most dedicated and loyal spouse. Apart from wife or husband, you'll have the most dedicated spouse. Because the theme of Uttara Falguni is to make relationships, to make deals with the other person, to make contracts with the other person. So when a Uttara Falguni dominant individual says that that person is going to be with you, they will be with you no matter what happens in your life. They will stick by you. So Uttara Falguni Nakshatra, having Venus in Uttara Falguni, will give a very committed and loyal marriage. Whereas if Venus is in Pisces, of course the spouse will be beautiful. Whereas if a person has Venus in Pisces, you can have problems in marriage. Your spouse can be addictive in nature and oblivion. Your spouse may feel lost in case of emotions and in case of commitment. So that is why I would say that never depend upon just one thing in astrology. Astrology is complex and it needs backup from other things. The foundation needs to be strong. Okay, so this was my analysis on exaltation and debilitation of planets. I hope it's helpful, and meet you next time. Bye bye.